Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Peteman Reviews. We're on tour again today at the home of my brother Simon, as he's got a number of different Transformers, some of which are more uncommon. Now the Minibots, you do see around quite a few times, but they're not that easy to get hold of anymore, so it's quite nice to get the opportunity to review them. What we have here are Gears, Cosmos, Warpath, and I think it's Bumblebee, but it could just be a gold or a yellow version of Cliffjumper. If we have a look under here, it says it's Hasbro Takara copyright limited, up to 1985. So I think it actually is Bumblebee rather than a yellow version of Cliffjumper. So the Minibots were all meant to be the lower price point of Transformers, so quite cheap for the time. Not so much anymore, but they were all intended to be the easy to get on range. And actually some of them got quite good detailing. So Bumblebee, as you can see here, is just a deformed car. I think it's meant to be a Camaro rather than a Volkswagen, which is why I wondered if it's a yellow version of Cliffjumper, but it's clearly deformed. You wouldn't be able to get much in the way of those cars. Transformation is absurdly simple. Head, down like that, up and round like so. Again, the head doesn't look an awful lot like Bumblebee, which again makes me wonder sometimes if it's not a yellow version of Cliffjumper. But it's, to be honest, it's not too bad a robot representation there. Quite recognisable as a robot. You have next to no articulation, though the arms will, in theory, waggle up and down, but they tend to hang down loosely like that. That said, as we've seen in previous reviews, even the latter releases of Power Master Prime, the arms could just waggle up and down, so you haven't really gained anything over years of articulation. Warpath's robot mode, not quite as good. Up like that, comes out up like that. The tank, arms come out like so, and his head is the turret. It's, well, it is a recognisable robot, and because of the way the turret moves, his head can move, but yeah, it's a bit ridiculous really, isn't it? And I know they really struggled to have what do you do with Warpath, because the turret does actually move upwards and forwards like that, and you have a full range of movement with that too, but that looks a bit silly in robot mode. He works far better as a tank. Cosmos, unfortunately, suffers from exactly the same things. A nice little flying saucer, unusual, and then the head pops up like that, pop down like that, and then those are his arms. So yeah, Cosmos likes pies. I think there's no getting away from that. These don't come apart, unfortunately, so it's a bit of an awkward robot, and because he's got little wheels there, oh, actually he's more stable than I expected him to be. But yeah, I've seen better robots than that. Gears, however, is actually quite good. I'm not entirely sure what he's meant to be. He's obviously meant to be some form of truck or SUV, but actually as a robot, he's probably the most effective of them all. Very recognisable as a robot, quite effective. Okay, he's got very short arms, but actually that is quite good scaling, and the detailing you see around his head, he's actually got what looks like a band on his head. So that's actually probably the best of all of them as a robot. On the other hand, what do you expect? These are the cheap range of Transformers. In some cases it really shows. I suppose we have to give credit to the fact that they could have just churned out different coloured Bumblebees. But actually they've gone to the effort of doing a separate mould for Warpath and a separate mould for Cosmos. Something that Hasbro doesn't even do nowadays. They often retool existing moulds. So they have gone to the effort to make different Transformers out of them. They're not all successful. I mean, Cosmos and Warpath work far better in the alt modes than the robot modes. Bumblebee, you can get away with both, but he's a bit more comfortable in his alt mode, whereas Gears works quite well in either mode. So there we are, that is for the Minibots. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next review. Goodbye.